NBA Lakers and the red-hot Pelicans. And I've got Chiney Ogwumike with me here. We had some fireworks in the third quarter. Lakers are up by 5, and LeBron James, Chiney, can still do this.
It's wild. LeBron James, still 41 years young. He had multiple get-off-your-couch type of dunks last night.
He had 21 last night, but you want a spectacular dunk? Show me Trey Murphy here.
Trey Murphy has been a bright spot. He is a prototypical dream NBA build, and here he also has a little bit of showtime in his game.
He had 21. Zion Williamson had 24. How about Zion here, Chiney?
Yeah, after a slow start, it was good to see signature Zion Williamson moments like this right here. Greeny, does your muscle flex look like that?
Most certainly not. Anyway, that one gave the Pelicans an 8-point lead. But then here come the Lakers. Down 6, that's Austin Reeves for 3. And then off a miss, let's do it again. Austin Reeves for 3. He would score 15. This one brought the Lakers within 2. Next Laker possession. It's still a 2-point game. It's Luka Doncic, the NBA's leading scorer, working, and finding the bucket. He would score 27. Lakers storm back with a 12-0 run. 2 minutes to play. Lakers have now opened a 4-point lead. It's Luka, it's Smart, and that's a dagger. Lakers come back and they win it 110-101 against, again, a Pelicans team that's been playing has been struggling massively. Since the Lakers acquired Luka last season, they're 24-14 when their big three of Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves play together, including 3 straight wins. Yesterday on PTI, though, Kendrick Perkins was forecasting the end for LeBron in L.A. while questioning a Lakers future built around Luka and Reeves.
LeBron James right now has one foot in the grave, the other on the banana peel. He just waiting on this season to be over so he can leave the Lakers. Can Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves be your franchise guy to deliver a championship in the near future? And the answer is hell no, because neither one of those guys slide their feet defensively or are willing to play defense, and their defensive liabilities.
You know, that's a lot in a very short time for Perk to say. Tim McMahon is up with us early. And Chiney, again, that's his phrase, you tell us here, that he uses a lot with regard to that. There's 2 separate pieces to it. Let's start with the LeBron piece of it. Do you agree with that sentiment, that this, for whatever reason, is just no longer a good fit for LeBron and that he will finish his career, even at this age, in another place?
Look, last hour I compared it to
I'm sorry.
being a guest in his own home.
Yeah,
right?
Tim. Go ahead, Tim.
I'll give you another metaphor here. LeBron has had the keys to the car his entire career. He had to give the keys up to Luka. He doesn't even get to sit shotgun. That's Austin Reeves' seat. LeBron, this is a sports car. He is cramped up in the back seat. It is just not a fit. I don't know about one foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel, because the man can still run. He's catching lobs. He's dunking in transition. This is not about the decline of LeBron. This is about the fit moving forward around the core of Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. And this is about this summer needing LeBron to go to have a chance to put the kind of supporting cast around them to give the Lakers any realistic hope of having a championship team here in L.A. in the Luka Doncic era, which has started.
Yeah, which has started and will really be in full bloom when LeBron is no longer there, as, you know, he casts a wide shadow, and obviously rightfully so. Quickly, Chiney, on that piece of it, the expectation, or at least the thought, maybe some people's mind, the dream that LeBron goes back and finishes it all where it started, which would be in Cleveland. Maybe that team makes a really deep run this year with the acquisition of Harden and all the rest of that. Short of that, do you think that's the fitting storybook ending for LeBron to go back and make one last run with the Cavs?
It is the fairy tale ending for LeBron James to potentially join the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I'll say this, because the biggest knock right now on the Cleveland Cavaliers is that they don't have championship experience, and also they need someone that they can rally around and hopefully hold them accountable in learning how to win at the highest level. No one better than LeBron James at that. I'll say this also, you know, you look at the Cleveland Cavaliers on paper at full strength, they've got it. They have James Harden, who's an 11-time All-Star, who's number 4 right now in assists per game. Donovan Mitchell, who's having a career year, averaging almost 29 points. Evan Mobley, the Ian Evan is for efficient. I think it was efficient yesterday, around 18 points on less than 10 shots. And Jarrett Allen, his game has been unlocked ever since James Harden arrived. Now, if you add LeBron James, where his expectation is not to be the savior where he was, you know, when he first started as a Cleveland Cavalier, but more so to be the icing on the cake to shepherd this team to another championship championship. To me, it would be no better ending for his career. And so obviously most teams will look at a guy, he might be 41, 42 next year. He averages 20-something points per game. You might look at the number, the age, and be like, ooh, I don't know if you really want that, right? But still, he is a guy with the most basketball IQ we've seen in a generation and super talented. And in that circumstance around Cleveland where the expectations aren't that great for him, he can thrive.
And then quickly, Tim, on the other side of it, Luka Reeves. The Lakers have as big a fan base as any team, if not bigger than any fan base in the NBA. Do you believe they are one off-season away? You've talked earlier this morning about all the work they need to do to put the right pieces in place. Is that a one-off-season project?
It better be a really productive offseason. This is their one chance this summer to really do some massive reconstruction because Austin Reeves is about to get a huge, huge raise. They can put that contract as the last official piece of business, though. They will have cap space with LeBron's contract coming off the books. They got to get a rim protector, a rim roller for Luka. They've got to get wings to guard. I think they can be part. They can be the foundation of a contender, but there is a lot of work to be done.
Okay, so let me leave that one there for the minute. And then I want to bring in, let me explain to everybody exactly what I want to do next. So the Celtics are the favorites at DraftKings right now to win the East. That despite the Cavaliers winning a big game last night over the Pistons. Boston's 4.5 back of Detroit for the top seed in the conference. Obviously, they've already surpassed what was their preseason win total of 40.5 games. Because they've played so well despite losing their superstar in Jason Tatum. So I want to set up everything. I'm going to see Dominique Foxworth is going to join us. Every day, our team sends out to all of our analysts notes, and they ask Dominique a bunch of football questions, and I read them. And then they say, is there anything else you're interested in? And Dominique had one last thought that I thought applied to you guys that I was fascinated by. And I thought, Nick, I'd love you to share it with everybody. I want to hear Chiney and Tim's reaction to it. Nick, go.
I'm predisposed to hate Boston teams, but I've fallen in love with this Celtics team because as we are going into what might be the best draft in NBA history, in recent NBA history as far as talent is concerned, the Celtics were well positioned to tank like it feels like almost every other team is. Like not only did they lose their star Jason Tatum, they lost Porzingis, Drew Holiday, Al Horford, and we're looking at this team. They could go ahead and lose just like a bunch of other teams, get a high draft pick that they could use or trade to build a bigger juggernaut. But rather than do that, they're 20 games over 500 and second in the East. I just get excited and root for teams that show the type of professional integrity and personal pride that I expect all teams to have. So maybe this is just a one-time thing, but I'm rooting for the Celtics this year because they show the respect to their fans and to us and to the rest of the league that I think that all teams in NBA should instead of tanking out just because you got the opportunity to. All right. Thank you, Greeny. I'll go back to football now.
No, I loved it. I wanted to hear the take. Chiney, what do you think?
The basketball gods of Spalding and Wilson will reward the Boston Celtics for how they have handled this season. And most importantly, Nick, what's cool is that, a lot of people have had questions about, which leading guy should star, whether Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown, this or that. Yeah. They have shown that two stars can coexist and have each other's back in moments of adversity. That's why Jaylen Brown is in the MVP conversation. Joe Mazzulla, a lot of people were like, your tactics are unique. They're a little different. They're a little weird. But it doesn't matter. He gets the results. They were ahead of the curve. I talked to Wick Grossbeck a couple weeks ago, and he said, we were talking about analytics decades ago and the impact of the game and how they honor the game. And so what this Celtics team has built is through, as you mentioned, integrity. And I think the basketball gods are rewarding them because Jason Tatum has enough time, about a month, to feel comfortable before playing really meaningful games. And you love to see that. I feel like in Adam Silver's office, the Boston Celtics are up like, yeah, in a world of tanking, be a Boston Celtic. Be a Boston Celtic.
That's exactly right. Tim McMahon, go.
Yeah, tank is a four-letter word that is not in Joe Mazzulla's vocabulary, right? And it's one thing, like if you'd have told me, hey, the Celtics are still a playoff team, okay, I could have seen that. The second seed in the Eastern Conference with this record, no, this is, I'm not going to say they've overachieved, but they have certainly exceeded external expectations. Yeah, are the basketball gods rewarding them? Sure, but are the basketball gods going to reward the Milwaukee Bucks? Because I got a secret. They probably should be tanking if it's in their best interest. They're not going to make the play-in, by the way.
Yeah, right now they're fighting for the 10 seed, which is a terrible
Meek,
place to be.
You're
Nico,
welcome. You're welcome
Meek,
in the hoops conversation.
final word, Dominique.
I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I think the word you said about Joe Mazzulla is impressive, and of course what Brad Stevens has done there has been incredible. I like the way that this team plays, and even with the way that they've switched over to this Jaylen Brown style of offense, like I actually think it's more interesting with the penetration that he creates and the kick-out threes that they get now. It's more like this offense looks a little bit more familiar to an old guy like me instead of the offense that it seemed like they had before. As effective as it seemed like it was more like designed to create the three. Now it feels like the three, even though they're still shooting a ton of them, the three is a result of Jason Tatum creating penetration. I really like and enjoy watching this team, and I'm ashamed to say it because I'm supposed to hate Boston sports. It's like I found myself rooting for Duke or something. Like I can't do it. It's weird, but I like them and I respect them, and I'm going to keep rooting for them.
And it is the reason why, even though none of the letters appear in his name, you cannot spell Jason Tatum, you cannot spell Jaylen Brown without MVP. All right, Dominique, very well done. Shanae and Tim, before we let you go, I mixed up my Hornets and my Pelicans earlier in the conversation. That is Charlotte that has won 5 straight games, all by 15 points, to climb all the way back to 500. So we're going to do a feature. Tim, you really wanted to make sure that we spotlighted this. People need to stop sleeping on the Charlotte Hornets.
This is one of the most remarkable stories, turnaround stories in NBA history. This was a team that was dead and buried, looked like they were going to be in this race to the bottom. When the new year hit, they are 500 now. They have played as well as any team in the Eastern Conference. I personally did not think LaMelo Ball could drive winning. That was the conventional wisdom around the league. He is proving that wrong. And they're playing, by the way, Charles Lee, their coach, an assistant for the Celtics championship team, also deserves a lot of credit. You talk about a team that has developed a fun identity. You know, they're just launching threes from all over the floor, and this is something that is sustainable. This starting five, 19-2 with an insane point differential as a unit.
Shanae, is this a team no one's going to want to play in the playoffs?
I don't think you want to play against these young, fresh legs because they're going to run and gun. They don't feel pressure. They know how to shoot the ball, as you mentioned. And Tim, I like that you brought up the rebuild concept because the Detroit Pistons also have themselves a case, almost getting to that 28 losses in a row a couple years ago, and now they're looking at pacing the NBA when it comes to record. But as it pertains to the Charlotte Hornets, what I like, we talk about San Antonio in the West having the best young core in the NBA. In the East, it's in Charlotte, and it's really cool. I mean, Knipple triples are going up and everywhere already through, 69 or so games. He already set the NBA record as a rookie, which is super cool. And then on top of it, Brandon Miller has been great. And of course, like you said, LaMelo Ball bringing that pizzazz. A lot of kids, that's their favorite player. A lot of kids, you go to tournaments and you see them wearing his shoes. And so for me, they've sort of reborn this identity that actually includes winning for the first time in a long time.
All right.